Welcome to the Know, I'm Mica.
I'm John.
Eyes up, grumpy guardians. This beta for the PC version of Destiny 2 isn't even here yet, but PC gamers are already up in arms thanks to some newly announced restrictions for streaming and voice chat apps.
This just sounds like this is all about logic and reason, and we're just gonna have a bunch of level-headed people talking about, you know, what's going on.
Totally chill and calm and normal.
So no, this isn't like the case of a game like Persona 5. Bungie isn't telling people they can't stream the game. However, they are limiting features in some of the most popular programs for streamers and PC gamers as a whole, preventing game capture mode and even hardware monitoring.
But how will I know if I'm getting sick 144 FPS, John?
I don't know.
I
don't really care about my FPS either.
Well, when you add some of these restrictions to the lack of dedicated servers on PC, players are now having a few reactions, totally rational reactions to the news, and they're already a teensy, just a smidgy bit upset about the beta, which is still several weeks away.
Yeah, this news comes to us by the way of Bungie's latest weekly What's Update. In the blog post, Bungie writes, some applications that people use when they play games try to add code to the game client. In the right hands, this can enable some nice features to enhance your experience as a player. In the wrong hands, this can be destructive to the world we share in the game.
They go on to say, to help ensure that every player will have a fair shot at fun and glory in Destiny 2 on the PC, we'll resist attempts from applications to add code to Destiny. Our game needs to be the foremost authority on your fate as a Guardian.
The post, it then mentions that this was a result in some incompatibility between Destiny 2 and the features of common streaming and voice chat applications. They don't offer more detail in the post itself, but hopping over to the FAQ page provides just a little bit more insight.
As for what's not compatible, Bungie states that this includes game capture mode for streaming apps like OBS, XSplit, DxTory, Razer Cortex, and Fraps. Nobody uses those.
Yeah, and in addition to those restrictions, they've also limited the ability of third-party voice chat applications and, puzzlingly, hardware monitoring in voice chat programs like Discord or Mumble. You won't be able to see any visual notification features, and with hardware monitoring programs like EVGA, Precision XOC, MSI Afterburner, and Fraps, you won't be able to see frame rate and statistic overlays.
Apparently, Bungie is resorting to these measures because quite a few cheats and hacks out there utilize overlays as part of their cheating tools. Plus, many of these streaming and voice apps allow for code injections to the game. Bungie's solution seems to be nuking the ability of any program to inject code or overlay on the screen to cut cheating off at the source.
Because people never figure out how to get around anti-cheat measures before, and this is totally going to fix it, and they figured it out! All of this is definitely not such welcome news for streamers, many of whom use these exact features for their broadcasts. I used, I think, 3 that we listed last night.
And while some would call this a minor inconvenience, there are plenty of ways around this for most people with capable hardware. But for some streamers, depending on their setup, having to use monitor or windowed capture will be at least a slight hit to their performance, causing some disruption to their videos. Also, who wants to make a whole nother setup just for one freaking game?
I guess if you really like Destiny.
If you really like Destiny.
So, more than anything, it can be kind of a pain in the ass that might not even solve the problem they're trying to address. Naturally, PC gamers they're not happy with this development because all of the apps listed aren't just used by streamers, but also by, well, just like basically anybody who has a PC. Everyone is Discord. It's where everyone is. Why are you gonna limit Discord? That's stupid. It's everybody. A lot of gamers use these hardware monitoring tools in particular to tweak certain attributes in their setup to get the best performance possible.
As can be expected, the PC gaming subreddit is filling up with grumpy guardians all over this, mostly in a 1600 upvote thread dedicated to the announcement. One commenter calls this decision shit, writing, "Afterburner to me is essential. It allows me to monitor CPU and GPU usage and RAM usage. Therefore, tweaking GPU usage so I can get appropriate performance."
The commenter goes on to say, switching off some reflection setting and watching CPU usage go down to 10 to 15% with minimal difference, or turning off depth of field and my GPU usage goes down 20% is helpful to know what settings are costly and what aren't.
Another commenter wrote, "It's a huge inconvenience. The performance lost because you can't directly hook into the game using game capture and you have to use monitor/window capture is pretty substantial."
And still, another said, no dedicated servers, and now this shit. Are they trying to kill the game before it even releases on PC? We all saw how well For Honor did with P2P connection for multiplayer.
One PC modder, who said they used to create cheating tools, provided a little bit of clarity to the thread, saying that many cheating applications use the same hooks and patches as those popular apps. The only difference is the legit guys have whitelisted codes signing certificates to keep them from getting bans. In his mind, this just means that Destiny 2 is performing some serious integrity checks on the game to keep it cheater-free.
Another general point of frustration from the thread is the lack of dedicated servers, which, when added to this, become kind of annoying for some players. In their minds, part of the reason a wonky solution like this might be necessary at all is because there aren't dedicated servers for the multiplayer in general.
We all know that cheaters can ruin an online experience and PvP, which is obviously the main reason Bungie is doing this. Judging from some of their other tweaks to balancing in the latest console beta, they're hedging a lot of bets on the game's multiplayer this time around and really want to preserve the competitive community.
While some are wondering if maybe this is just a measure for the beta specifically, the wording from Bungie's blog post and FAQ section make it seem like they're a permanent solution to cheating, so it doesn't sound like this is going away anytime soon.
This doesn't bode too well with Destiny 2's PC beta right out of the gate, especially after some of the reactions we saw to the console version. However, all that anger didn't seem to change the game's fortunes all that much. It's already bested the first game in terms of pre-orders.
Yeah, as if people talk a lot and then they still play the game. That's pretty understandable. Activision let that detail out during their recent earnings briefing this week, stating that pre-orders for the game are already higher, even a month out from release, than Destiny 1. Granted, that probably includes a whole extra platform thanks to PC. However, Destiny 1 did come out on last generation consoles.
So these inconveniences probably won't put much of a dent in the game's popularity in the end. There are lots of other ways to stream, but these do happen to be some of the biggest, so the irritation is a bit understandable on the part of PC gamers.
We'll find out just how much these restrictions affect them when the beta drops August 28th.
And also, let's keep in mind that when the console had issues with the beta, Destiny actually listened and they implemented those changes, so before everybody starts getting out their torches and pitchforks, let's see what happens. But what do you guys
think? Fuck that shit, let's burn this shit down.
Or fuck that shit, burn that shit down. So,
anarchy, anarchy.
What do you guys think of Bungie's PC restrictions for Destiny 2? Anarchy?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
This is totally going to affect how, like, you know, the sales happen, because people always complain and then stop buying the games. No, wait, they just pre-order it no matter what. Hey, for future updates on more Grumpy Guardians, remember to like this video and subscribe to the know.
There's your favorite term again, Grumpy Guardians.
Fuck that. We already said that.
Grumpy Guardians!
Figure out some other alliteration.
But mostly in a...
I've never heard of anybody complaining about capture software adding code to the game. This is highly bizarre. The post then mentions, I'm sorry, I'm just really thrown by this.